Hi guys, look at my guest that I have today. It's Dave. I don't think he's ever been in a video before, have you?
This is my debut.
This is his big debut. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to do just like a fairly basic men's haircut. Obviously there are tons of different types of haircuts that you can do on men's hair. I will just give you kind of the basic pointers, and then you can use a little creative freedom as you get more comfortable to do it however your client or child or husband would like it. So first things first is you want to have a cape. These are really inexpensive. You can get them anywhere, but I will just tell you from experience, only using a towel is a bad idea because the hair just like gets stuck all over the towel. It's never gonna be the same. You're gonna feel men's haircut hairs all over in it for a long time. So invest in a cape. The next thing you're going to need are just some sort of clippers, preferably not of the dog variety. You'll want some hair clippers that have guards. They'll have lots of different guards that will come on them. You'll also want a spray bottle and a comb, and preferably you would have like an edger, a smaller one that you can do edge work around. You can use this, but let's just use this. And then scissors. Okay, when it comes to scissors, use shears, like hair cutting shears. You don't have to buy the several $100 pair. You can buy the $10 pair, and it's still gonna be better than like kitchen, like a lot of people will use kitchen shears, like kitchen food scissors. Don't do that. And don't use like craft scissors or sewing scissors, just get those. Also, if you want to invest in some thinning shears, this is gonna help you have like a much more like nice faded look, and they're really nice to invest in as well. When it comes to guards, I would say the two most popular sizes are going to be 3 and 2. 2 is pretty short. 3 obviously is slightly longer than that. So the best rule of thumb is to start longer, and if it seems like it's not short enough, then you can go to the next one down. So I would say probably stick between a 2 and a 4 is typically where it's going. Most men's haircuts are. I know that his is going to be a 2, so I'm just gonna do a 2. My second piece of advice with this is always start back here, because if it is maybe a little too short, there's no going back if you do it up here. But if you come up back here, you can, if you've only done a little bit, then you're fine. So don't be afraid to like turn it different directions, because hair grows in different directions. So like he has a little callus that comes over this way, so just have to turn the clippers to get that. So you want to go in C-shaped motions, and I would say if you feel back here, there's like a little, it's called your occipital bone, but it'll stop right here and there's a little dent. That's about where you want it to stop, is right about there. Say you want to, this is maybe a little more advanced, but say you want to do kind of like some fading a little bit, I like to start with the longer one first, do that, and then come back with my shorter one and do it lower and kind of work in those C shapes again, but just I like to go fairly slowly to do that. I wouldn't recommend doing fading unless you have those thinning shears. It makes it a lot easier, which I can show you how to do in a little bit. So now that we have done this bottom part, then we'll come to the top. So if you are trying to kind of fade it from this up, then you are going to take it with your fingers, and you can see that there is a little line right here of hair that was cut by the clippers and then hair that hasn't been cut yet. And you're going to match this line up here and work in vertical sections so that you don't create shelves on the head. So first I'm going to spray it. So again, we're going to start at the back of the head. Take a vertical section like this. So after you do a few of these vertical sections, then I just like to do a few back here to make it so that you can kind of get a little feel for where you're going. I'll come over to the side and do the same. And if you can see here, you can see this line is where I cut the last section. Then I just take this new section and cut along that same line. Now you can see that we have like this line right here. This is where we bring in the technique called scissor over comb. You're gonna come in with your comb and just place it right in there. You're going to take your scissors, and the key is to just like keep the scissors moving as your comb moves, and the comb is going to go straight up. Don't contour it into the head, just have it go straight up. Don't take the comb out in between, like you don't want to go and do it like this and then pull it out and then come in right here, because you're just going to create, it's basically the opposite of what you want to have happen. You want to just have one solid fade together. And see how that line is now disappeared significantly. We're not done with it, but that's a good starting point. Come to the top. For his hair, we want it to still be pretty long so that he can style it a lot more, and he likes having the sides be on the longer side as well. So I am just going to kind of match up these pieces. So you can see right here, there's like these shorter pieces, and then it gets really long right up here. And you will just kind of take those pieces and match that line. So So again, I'm just gonna work in vertical sections around his head, just kind of matching those lines up a little further up. And just make sure that you take a little bit of the section that you just worked with, bring it into the next section, and that works as your guide. Say you want to do like the style that's really popular right now where there's like a really intense part, you would like part the hair where they want it to be parted, and then sometimes it's even nice to take like a clip and clip it down, and then you'll continue with that scissor over comb up until that point, and then you'll cut this top part. That's not what we're doing, but that's how you would do that. What we are doing is just keeping this top really, not really long, but longer so that he'll be able to still style it. And then I'll texturize it a lot because he does have thicker, a little wave to it, and so it just makes it so that he can style it a little easier. So as we get to the top, you'll see there's like a little line down here, and then it's like really long right here. So because we don't want it all to be as short as this right here, you're still going to use this line down here as a guide, but rather we're going to angle our fingers so that the angle points upward to get to the top. And then you can take that angle and make it straight again. Kind of work in like a rainbow motion and work your way back. Don't be afraid to go back in and spray it as you need. It's a lot easier to cut if it's wet. So once we get back to like the back crown of his head, then I like to take vertical angles again, and I'm just matching up those same lines. And there's not a ton that you have to cut that. You'll usually have to cut back here because you've already cut some of it when you were going around originally. Just a matter of matching up all of those different lines together. So then when you come to the front, it's still going to be like a lot longer just because you've been working from behind. So you'll come up here. I like to come going this direction first so I can kind of see where my line is. And you'll see that it goes like this, makes like an upward slope, and you're just going to make it so it's flat. As you come to the very front, I like to not go flat anymore. Go with the curve of the face. So I'm turning it this way and cutting. So now you'll go and kind of double check and make sure that the haircut is even. So I have a little spot right there. It doesn't have to be as intense as you were looking before, but just nice to have like a little run through, make sure everything's looking nice and even. And then you can do any detail work that you want. So we like to texturize his hair, so that's what the thinning shear, that's what I like to use thinning shears for in his hair. This is not going to be for everyone. If their hair is thinning already or something, then you wouldn't do this, but you would work in diagonal lines. Now, if you are a female and you are wanting to thin your hair, don't do it like this. I'm just saying that up front. So you are going to, will you put your head down a little bit? Yeah. You're gonna work like in this. You're gonna do little stripes, work in diagonal stripes. So I'm just gonna come right in. This looks so scary, right? So this does a few things. This makes it so it's easier for thicker hair to be styled. It also makes it so if you have any like lines that came through, it like softens them. So if you attempted any fading, or maybe if your scissor over comb fading didn't look great, you could come in and scissor over comb like right to the scalp with this, and that would just really soften any lines that you have. So this is like the really fun part, is combing it all out. So you just get like handfuls of hair. So for the most part, we are done. Now we are just going to, well, we're going to trim his beard, but we're going to do any like around the ears and around the neck. And that's when this little guy comes in, and I will show you how to do that. So with these, you're not going to come in this way. You're going to come in this way. Now you can see that there's like longer pieces right here. I'll come and with my comb and hold it, use that as a guard a little bit. When you get to the ears, you're gonna put one side right against the skin. And you don't want to come up too high. So now it's all styled, looking handsome. I promise he likes it, even though he doesn't look like it. But anyway, if you have any questions about it, just let me know. But just start longer, work up the courage to go a little shorter, and don't cut with your dog in the room. And it will all be okay. Practice makes perfect. See you guys.